What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mobile video. So today I want to discuss something I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time, ever since this new update, which has, well, I think it was actually season 7, but it's been a while since I've wanted to talk about this, which is, of course, the change to dead silence. So before I get into this, I do want to give the devs some credit, because one change that may not have been appropriate doesn't, really define the changes that they've made so far. Because keep in mind, they've made a lot of changes to a lot of guns, making them more viable. This is, if anything, this is probably the most open meta that we've ever had in the history of COD Mobile, and hopefully it stays that way. But I just with this one change, it does kind of change my opinion on them. I mean, because it was really, like, it was unneeded. It was a change that no one even asked for. You could go on Reddit in the last 2 months. You will not see a single post saying that dead silence is way too fucking strong. If anything, there'll be posts saying that it's way too weak. And out of all the perks in this game, this one seems to be changed the most throughout the lifespan of this game. It's very rare when they make changes to perks. They usually change it if it's a little bit too overpowered. The most recent one was probably Persistence. And the one before that was, I believe, Quick Fix. People were healing while they were still getting shot. It was really overpowered, but of course they fine-tuned it. But for Dead Silence, they just, I don't know, for some reason they just keep making it weaker and weaker when no one even had a problem with it. And it's getting to the point where it kind of feels like they should just delete it, because it's, at this point, it's useless. So let me give you guys a brief history of Dead Silence. So it's been in the game since the very, very beginning. It's supposed to grant you silent footsteps. Whether you're sprinting or you're walking, it doesn't matter. That's what it should be doing. But over the past seasons, around season 13, they completely took out the ability to have silent footsteps while sprinting, which was the most retarded idea in, one of the most dumbest decisions ever made for this game. I remember a lot of people were pissed about that, because they were worried that people were just going to start camping and sound whoring, and that's something I actually did. Well, not the camping part, but the sound whoring part, because it was so easy to hear where people were coming from. So eventually, at some point, they did bring back the feature to be silent while you're sprinting, but only at a certain distance. And it was still, and it became usable again to some extent. But over time, they just kept nerfing the distance, nerfing it more to the point where you're already being heard from a whole universe away. I would go as far as to say that I hear people with Dead Silence more than I hear people that don't actually use the perk. Like, if they're using Hardline, I feel like I would hear them less than I would if someone was actually using Dead Silence. It's crazy because you guys see it a lot in my streams where I get maybe killed from the side or behind. I didn't even hear them, and they weren't even using Dead Silence. But again, I could hear people with Dead Silence perfectly. Maybe that's just a me problem. Maybe it's just selective hearing. I don't know. But it kind of tells you how shit Dead Silence is at this point. The way I see it is this. Every perk in this game exists for a reason. There's Lightweight, it gives you more speed. You have Skulker, gives you more strafing speed, more walking speed. Just all that stuff. But there are times, like I said, where perks become a little bit too strong, so they do nerf them. But there's a limit, You don't want to over nerf it to the point where its main purpose is completely diminished and it just isn't even a perk anymore. It's like if they nerf toughness, right? How it gives you like a 65% flinch reduction. And one day they decide to nerf it down to 5%. Like, is it really a perk anymore? It would be like the same could be said about maybe Lightweight. If they reduced it from 5% to like 0.5%, like, is it Lightweight now? Obviously not. So they're making all these changes to the perk, and no one's even asking for it. It's not even powerful, but they keep on nerfing it. Look, yes, it provides you silent footsteps when you're walking, but most of the time you're running, and that's where it's supposed to count the most. This could explain why a lot of people are camping in my lobbies, because they could just easily sound whore you. Because I find it much harder to flank or even keep a kill streak now, because everyone could just hear you. They already know you're coming from a mile away, so what's the point of even using the perk? I know you could easily say that, oh, it could be used as a crutch perk, but dude, come on, people use Quick Fix all the fucking time, people use Lightweight, people use different perks all the fucking time. Does it mean it's overpowered? No. They just like to use it. It doesn't, I don't understand. I mean, I think that's why, like, I can't even flank anymore, honestly, because they're just gonna hear me. And it's no wonder why I keep struggling in matches, because, dude, I'm like, I sound like I'm the fucking Hulk walking behind someone. A theory that I have as to why they might have nerfed it even more is probably for competitive purposes. But if that's the case, why don't you just ban the perk altogether? Why do you have to fucking affect it in the casual modes? I don't know, guys. The devs are like retarded sometimes. They'll make some weird, inappropriate change for like no reason, and no one even asked for it. It's like if one day they just nerf the MSMC out of nowhere. Everyone knows it's a shit gun, but just for some reason they just nerf it. You know, it's shit like that that just pisses me off. And honestly, I've kind of lost interest in just playing a lot more extensively. I mean, yeah, I've played at the very beginning of like when the season started, but I mean, it's been days since I've actually played for like more than an hour, because honestly, I'm just not enjoying it. The only time I really play is when the tournament mode's back on, and that's it. Like, I get those 20 wins and I don't really play that much anymore. It's kind of sad, really, because again, I don't know a single person that plays this game that complains about Dead Silence being too strong. And like I said, they usually complain about it being too weak. Trust me, if it was a little stronger, people would be using it more often, but Usually the blue perk I see typically is either the Demo Expert or just Hardline. Those are like the two blue perks that people use. Rarely ever Persistence or even Dead Silence. It's very rare when I see those. And look, I'm usually happy to see nerfs in a game, because typically when nerfs happen, it's for a good reason. Obviously, there was a gun that may be too overpowered. For example, the MAC-10 or the CBR. You know, changes like that I'm okay with, but when you're nerfing something that doesn't need to be nerfed that's already weak, it's fucking stupid. What I suggest that they do, just to close off this video, is just revert it back to the way it was. Make it serve the purpose that it was supposed to serve in the first place. It's not really going to cause any harm. And like I said, even if like it's in Search and Destroy, like a competitive Search and Destroy match, just ban the fucking perk. What's so hard about that? You know, like, there's so many things that they could do to circumvent Dead Silence, other than just nerfing it down to the fucking bedrock. And if you just don't want the perk to be in the fucking game, just say so. I mean, why keep the perk in here if it's already this useless? And look, guys, like I said, they've made a lot of good changes in this game, so, like, just this one stupid change isn't really gonna have me discredit them completely. I mean, they've done a good job over the past few months, and I'm grateful that they've changed a lot of the weapons, but dude, you have to admit, this was a dumbass fucking change. Well, yeah, anyways, hope you guys liked this little video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.